Namaste. Om Sai Ram. We are with Gautamji and we'll continue the series on the life of Dr. Anna Sahib Gavankar through the book A Jewel of Sai Devotion. And we'll continue with the pointer which I mentioned in the last episode on attitude. So, Gautam, if you could
Yes,
speak about that.
sure, I'd love to.
Hmm.
The thing about attitude, the main thing is, as my guide would say, we cannot really control the flow of life. We don't know what the next moment will bring. Nobody knows pleasure or pain, what phone call you will get, what will transpire. But what we can look at is our attitude to what happens in life. Our attitude, it's a very important word. And this pointer is on this word, attitude. It is called attitude. Everybody faces both pleasure and pain in life. Difficulties should be looked upon as opportunities for spiritual growth. You know, Nick, we in India fear our phases of Saturn, for example, Shani. But we learn the most spiritually in those phases. So we are trying to avoid and escape the pain, but actually we are being taught lessons which our soul or jiva, whatever we want to call it, is meant to learn in this incarnation. You see, so that is the duality of life. Life is pleasure and pain. It is my attitude to it which determines whether I am suffering psychologically or not. Physical pain I have to bear, but the human being loads it on with tremendous psychological suffering for themselves and creates suffering for those in their environment, and then perpetuates the cycle of suffering. So, a human being surrenders to worldly attachments such as money, material possessions, etc., believing that money brings pleasure. He thus falls prey to these objects and does not surrender to the Creator. In this act of ignorance, he wastes his life and throws it away like a valuable diamond is unknowingly tossed into the sea. Like a valuable diamond, this life that you're given is for learning. But we toss it into the sea of samsara. It is such a beautiful and poetic expression Anna Sahib has used. Life is given to him by the Almighty, who is the supporter. His godliness lies in being favorable to all, but a human being demands petty and frivolous things. That is what we do, Nick. We are praying to Baba for all material things all the time. Rare is the one who prays for enlightenment, peace of mind, self-realization, being able to be an instrument to serve others. And so what Anna Sahib is doing is saying, take a recheck on your attitude to life. Your attitude to life means your attitude to what happens in your life, your attitude to the people in your life, and your attitude to yourself. Again, I feel this is a foundation pointer, just like the last one we discussed. Again, I'd like to end my discussion on this because it echoes the previous pointer where Anna Sahib says, if a human being gives a plaintive call with utter agony or helpless anger, the Lord is sure to rush to him and relieve him from his pitiful condition. So just that helplessness, knowing that this is the design of life, I have seen it now. What can I now do? Which is now my attitude is changing, and that is when Anna Sahib says God will come. He's just waiting for that turn and he will rush in. It's so beautiful, really.
Here again, what I had mentioned in the earlier episode, Anna says, always remember and hold dear this phrase. Jaya mani jaisa bhav, taya taisa anubhav. As is your feeling, such will be the experience in your life.
Yes. Nick, something came to mind which I'd like to share. I don't know if it's relevant, about attitude only. There's a young lad in his early 30s, 30, 31, who's on the spiritual journey clearly. But he has to earn a living. He doesn't have a father, you know. And I was telling him that you must take care of your health. These are your young years, work hard, and he's working hard. But he is neglecting his health. So I said, why are you neglecting your health? And he said, मुझे जल्दी जाना है इधर से. So I could sense, I can feel that pain where someone does not want to really, someone has seen that this Maya is painful, let's say. I don't want to live long, right? That is the thought. But I corrected him. I felt the need to as an elder. I said, see, you cannot determine jaldi jana hai, whether you will go jaldi. That is in God's hand. But what is needed in your case is a change in attitude. That let me be healthy while I'm alive rather than sick. So it comes to attitude. That is so important. So it just this conversation came up that yes, we understand those especially who are viewing such series and podcasts are on a spiritual journey. They have perhaps suffered enough in life, otherwise they are not drawn to such things. But our attitude should not be one of defeatism and oh, I'm tired of all this suffering, I want to finish this incarnation and go. There are people, Nick, I know of who are in their 90s who are not dropping their body. And the family has tried all kinds of pujas and this and that to relieve. It's not happening. We don't know God's will, Nick. All we can do, all that is in our hands is our attitude to what is happening.
I feel, Gautam, here also Baba has given us the main two things to hold on to life, Shraddha and Saburi. And I
Beautiful.
often get many young people who get in touch, and I tend to give them more time because I feel they are very earnest. And even on a practical front, I feel in day-to-day living, this really is the best attitude to live by, with faith and patience. Baba speaks of perseverance also in the letter. And that's no coincidence, because Baba has given guidance to Anna's son, which applies to the youth and all of us, that persevere. Even Baba came across so many difficulties. He says, no, people would hurdle abuses, throw stones, do things, but one has to persevere and have patience that God will take care of you. Even here, what is Anna giving reassurances of? That fervent call, that also becomes bhakti eventually. But it's that faith, and you've always said this in the past, the two are so interlinked,
Yes.
Shraddha and Saburi.
Yes.
So
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And that is our attitude.
Yeah. So I feel even bhakti can be imbibed through attitude in daily living, like for even young people or people not familiar with Baba's teachings, history, life, that these two pointers and the right attitude of faith and patience will take you a long way ahead.
Yes. And faith and patience not to a material goal. Just faith and patience for being faith and patience.
Absolutely, in itself.
In itself
Yes.
is the goal. Nisargadatta Maharaj said the road is the goal. That is what Baba is saying. The transformation is the quality of Shraddha and Saburi. So beautiful, really.